Okay, hopefully you can see me. Let's see. I don't want to see me too much. That's okay. All right, let's see. Okay, back to this. I'm sorry, I don't exactly remember where I left off, so I'll try to figure that out real quick. I'm sorry that I had to interrupt the video. I will try and stream them together. I got a call from my dad, so love him. Back to where we were, right. Okay, you know what? I have a feeling that I need to go back to something. Okay, well, let's go to the next one. Okay, I do want to go back to this. So John 5:22 again, for not even the Father judges anyone, but he has given all judgment to his Son. So as I was saying when I left off from the other section of this, that the judgment is given to his Son. We are all the children of God. So we are all sons and daughters, and um, uh, I would think in our spirit form we don't really have a sex, but perfectly balanced is probably more of the idea, is that we are perfectly balanced in the feminine and the masculine, because that just makes sense to me. But so that, okay, the next one goes on to say that too. He has given all judgment to the Son. The next one is John 5:27, and he gave him authority to execute judgment because he is the Son of Man. Now, when it speaks of executing judgment, authority to execute judgment, okay, this is speaking about free will, but also the gift of the Spirit. So each and every one of us has been given free will to make choices that are either in alignment with love or not. And we have been given, along with that, the gift of the Spirit. And the Spirit is the indwelling adjuster. So that is the means by which we discern right from wrong, good from bad. I'm sorry, these terms aren't really, but it is the Spirit of God, or the Holy Spirit, as Christians say, that guides our understanding or our perception of reality. So this again goes back to seek ye first the kingdom. If you hearken to the Spirit of God, that which is truly the Spirit of God, and you listen for what they call the still small voice. They call it the still small voice. I'm just going to leave the subject for a minute. I'm going to digress momentarily. They call it the still small voice because be still and know that I am God. In order to really connect with God, source, love, we must be in a position of stillness. We must be still. And what part of us must be still? The mind. Not the brain, the mind, which can also be referred to as the consciousness. So within the consciousness field, which is not in the body is inside of it, this consciousness field, many things happen. One of those things is the ego tendencies, and those are your human programs. The survival mode, what we need to survive, survival of the body. So it's all the worldly, practical stuff. And then within that also is the indwelt adjuster, the Holy Spirit, that was given to us at the same time. So this is what we are to hearken to use our discernment. The idea of being still, when it says, be still and know, I am God. Be still and know the I am. Be still and know the I am. When we take enough time and practice meditation or practice stillness, practice fixating, focusing on I am. What am I? Who am I? Who is the I that thinks I am this personality? So when we really focus on that, we come to a new understanding of who we are inside of God. Okay? So he gave him authority to execute judgment. The him he gave authority was the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the one who discerns for us, if we're willing to ask and listen, the truth of all things, okay? Because he is the Son of Man. And of course, he gave him authority to execute judgment because he is the Son of Man. Well, Christ actually spoke of the Spirit coming down and indwelling in us. He actually spoke to it as though it was something that he was giving us. So you can look at that a couple of different ways. So he gave him authority to execute judgment. Who gave who? Christ gave us? Yes. Because he is the Son of Man. Aren't we all that? Aren't we all sons and daughters of man while we're in this body? And aren't we also sons and daughters of God because we are indwelt by divine Christ consciousness? Yeah. Okay. So John chapter 5, verse 30, I can do nothing on my own initiative. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I do not seek my own will, but the will of him who sent me. Okay. Again, here they use judge and judgment, and because that word has such a really bad negative feeling to it, I'm going to change it to discern. I can do nothing of my own initiative. As I hear, I discern, and my discernment is just, because I do not seek my own will, but the will of him who sent me. And that's true. So I can do nothing of my own. And what that means is I do not know what anything is for. And that's actually taught in A Course in Miracles. ACIM, A Course in Miracles. It's, I don't know what anything is for. Nothing has any meaning to me except the meaning that I give it. And that's what Christ is saying here. He says, I can do nothing on my own initiative. I can't even see clearly on my own because the world has been made to look a certain way. So on my own, without hearkening to the Holy Spirit, without hearkening to the Spirit of God, the divine love, I can't even see clearly. And that's what he's saying here. As I hear, I discern. So if I'm not listening with the ears of love, of God, of Christ consciousness, if I am not listening with divine love, then I'm not listening correctly. I'm not hearing correctly. As I hear, I discern. So first, I must ask for the Holy Spirit to help me hear correctly, that my discernment is sure or correct. And he says, they say judgment, but I'm going to say discernment, and my discernment is just, because I do not seek my own will. Again, my discernment is just because I'm asking the Holy Spirit to be sure everything I see and hear, I am seeing and hearing correctly. And that is the He, because it's a divine connection to God, He who sent me. Okay? So he's saying this Holy Spirit is my bridge to my Father. And as long as I'm hearkening to that, I am going to know the will of my Father in every situation. I'm going to see the way He would see. I'm going to hear the way He would hear. And I'm going to handle this exactly as I need to handle it for the betterment of all involved. I'm sorry, just 1 second. Okay, back again. All right. So lots of interruptions tonight. I'm in a different room and I've got fur kids playing in the other room. Yeah, so human kid is now in bed. Fur kids are playing in the kitchen. Let's see. Okay. But the will of He who sent me, right? Okay, John, the next one is John chapter 8, verse 15 to 16. You judge according to the flesh. I am not judging anyone, but even if I do judge, my judgment is true. For I am not alone in it, but I and the Father who sent me. And it's just saying the same thing that I already explained in the last one. You judge according to the flesh. And he means we all judge according to the flesh when we are not hearkening to the Holy Spirit for our discernment, for our vision, for our hearing, for our perception, for our translation of what we think is in front of us. You judge according to the flesh, and that's what that means. And he says, I am not judging anyone. So he's telling us that it is our judgment of the world that's causing our suffering. It is our judgment, our misperception, our lack of asking for divine guidance that creates our suffering, our guiltiness. Okay? But even if I do judge, my judgment is true. So even if I must discern, even if I must, mine will be true because I'm asking for guidance from divine love. So even if I must pass judgment on a situation, even if I must give my opinion on this or caution you, I am doing so through the use of absolute love. Therefore, I am seeing and hearing correctly. But notice that he says, I'm not judging anyone. So that's the first and most important thing, right? Is that he's saying, I'm really not here to judge you. You're going to do enough of that yourself. You're going to bring enough suffering on yourself. I don't really have to do it for you. But should I be put in that position, I will hearken to the authority, the divine spirit, the Holy Spirit, who grants me proper vision and hearing through love, and I will know best how to advise you. Gotta love him, really. Okay. This next one will be interesting. John chapter 8, verse 26. I have many things to speak and to judge concerning you, but he who sent me is true, and the things which I heard from him, these I speak to the world. Okay. So this is really interesting. I have many things to speak and to judge concerning you, but he who sent me is true. I have many things to speak and to judge concerning you. I have many things to speak about and advise you on from the one who is truth. The things which I heard from him, these things I speak to you. Okay? So he's saying, you could also read this. You could also read this, and I think that could be so. That Christ in a body had a personality also. He was able to have the greatest filtration of divine love into a vessel, more so than I'm sure. I don't know if many of us will ever even get to that point. Maybe not even in the new earth, but that's where we're headed. So, but there is the possibility that he may have been saying, because he did have a personality, he may have been saying, oh, I have many things to speak and to judge concerning you. So like him being the personality part, the still human aspect. He could have meant it that way also. I have lots of things I'd like to say. There's lots of things I'd like to point out about what you're not doing correctly. But he says, but he who sent me is true. But the word of the one who sent me is absolute truth. And those things I heard from him, I speak to the world. So that's also a way, if we look at it that way, it's a way of him saying, I have many things flaws I'd like to point out that I think you're doing wrong. But because I'm here doing the will of my Father, I'm just going to tell you what he wants me to tell you. I'm going to put myself, my small self, my personality, I'm going to put my personality aside and come to you from that place of love, because love is who sent me here. And so I even think it may even be more powerful from that perspective, is to say that even Christ was completely aware of his human tendencies, right? His personality, and was willing, knowingly willing, to set aside his personality or his own judgment, to speak the message of love from the one, ultimate love, who sent him. Okay, that was really important, I think. Okay, John chapter 9, verse 39, Jesus said, for judgment I came into this world, so that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind. Oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. For judgment I came into this world, so that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind. Okay. So for judgment, because we aren't seeing correctly, he says, because you don't see clearly, I have come into this world. Because you see sin everywhere. Because you see sin everywhere, I came into this world. Because you're pointing out the flaws in everyone else, I came to give you this message. So that those who do not see could see, and those who see may become blind. So we could all see truth. So those that could not see the truth could see the truth, and those that see sinfulness in themselves may become blind. So he's saying, I came into this world so those of you who see sin in everyone else will see the truth. And those of you who see so much sin in yourself will realize you are sinless as created by God. This is his message about, again, seeing clearly, but more importantly than that is to stop the criticism of others, to stop the criticism of ourselves. It's all a message of love. It is to love each other Love each other. Get rid of the things that keep you from loving each other. Get rid of the things that keep you from loving yourself. Because self-love is important. If you can't love yourself, you can't extend it to anyone else. And so that's what he's seeing. This is what he's saying in this quote. It's so beautiful. For judgment, I came into this world. Because judgment exists, I came into this world. So that those who do not see may see, so that you may see clearly. And that those who see may become blind, and so that those who see sin in themselves would become blind to it and realize they are perfect as created by God. That's great. Okay. This one's really nice, so I'm going to go to this one, and I think I'm going to end on this one. This is John 12, verse 47 to 48. If anyone hears my sayings and does not keep them, I do not judge him, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and does not receive my sayings has one who judges him. The word I spoke is what will judge him at the last day. Yes. Okay. So the word is the living truth. The word is the living truth. The word is love. And he even said here, I do not judge him. I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. So he's saying, I didn't come here to judge you. I came here to love you. I came here to show you how to love. I came here to show you the way. Through love, by love, for love. All is love. I came here to show you that. When you know all is love, you treat each other differently. You treat yourselves differently. You stop the criticisms. You stop the divisiveness. You realize that you're all having this experience together. You decide to work together to make everything better for all of you. He who rejects me and does not receive my sayings has one who judges him. The word I spoke will judge him at the last day. There is only now, this moment, right now, only now, only now. The one who judges him sits right here in this now moment. The one who judges has a choice. One choice. Love or not. What does that look like? It looks like love or fear. Fear has many faces. It has many faces. It takes on many forms. It can look all kinds of ways. It can sound all kinds of ways. But it's only one choice ever in every moment. Today can be that day to make the right choice. And yes, there is a right choice. There is a best choice. No judgment. The best choice for all will only ever be the most loving choice. Word of caution. Word of caution. Love does not mean being a doormat and allowing people to walk on you. Love means, how do I love myself and still extend love to you without compromising myself or without compromising you? What is good for both of us in this situation? Or what is good for all of us in this situation? That is the right, the corrected way. So I'm going to leave it there for now because this has been really long. I mean, this section's 25 minutes, so I apologize for the length of this, and I'm getting bit by a mosquito. But I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it's helpful. I will leave you with this, in peace and love. May you be blessed.